Welcome back to the Fit Hippy Dad YouTube channel. My name is Scott, and today is episode number 6 in the series of Fit Hippy Dad fitness tips. And today we're going to talk about not eating 3 hours before bed. Yeah, we'll talk about that. But before we dive into that, like, subscribe. I'm up to 26, but I did lose a couple. I was up to 28, down to 26 now. So please like and subscribe. Let's review the first 5 before we dive into not eating 3 hours before bed. The first Fit Hippie Dad fitness tip was about empty calories. Basically, saying liquid calories, not doing that. Number 2, NEAT, which stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Basically, it's the non-exercise moving that you do every day. Walking, parking furthest from the entrance to the store so you get more steps, taking the elevator, household chores, fidgeting, but it all adds up. The Apple Watch does a great job of active calories versus total calories. It really does a good job of tracking all of that. And number 3 was the benefits of exercise for mild to moderate anxiety and depression and the endorphins it releases when you work out. Which is as good as any of the medications that are out there based on studies and research. The fourth fitness tip was on 10,000 steps. Actually, 7,000 steps seem to be the magic number, and the benefits of walking on your health. Number 5 was about counting calories. And because it's calories in, calories out. I was listening to a podcast just today about, in the end, there's so much nutrition noise out there about losing weight. But in the end, ultimately, it's how many calories are you consuming versus how many calories are you using every day? The expenditure, like I'm burning X amount, but I'm eating this amount. And in the end, that's really what we're looking for. And that leads me to the Fit Hippie Dad fitness tip number 6, not eating 3 hours before bed. So years ago when I started losing weight, going on 30 years now, I did not eat 3 hours before bed. I'm not sure why. I just knew that it wasn't a good idea. And when I was researching this, I'll go over some things here in a little bit, but it seemed like instinctive, like you shouldn't eat before going to bed. And again, it's total calories in, total calories out. But I've gotten past, I've kind of stopped doing that, especially with active, a lot of work, kids, that sort of thing. And I do feel like it helped me lose weight, and I need to go back to that. And I do plan on revising it to 2 hours maybe, but 3 hours before bed. And there are some reasons for that besides, well, weight loss is one of them, but eating too close to bedtime can negatively impact your sleep quality, blood sugar levels, and the weight. So in terms of sleep, when I was researching this, and we're talking large meals, big meals, right? We'll talk about snacks here in a little bit, but too close to bed, it messes up with your indigestion. For those of us who, I don't, but have acid reflux, bloating, gas, and it can make it harder to fall and stay asleep. This one, the circadian rhythm, I may mess that up. Eating late, the body interprets it as a signal that it's, hey, we're still awake, we're active, we're moving. Might take longer to get to sleep. And then the unwanted blood sugar levels for those of us who have issues with that. But there's a but here. I was researching this. There are benefits. And when you were a kid, like you weren't feeling well, like a glass of milk, things like that, or just like a soothing thing at night, just a little cookie or something. There are some studies that does seem to show that prevents that midnight hunger. I could see that. I've never had to get up at 2 in the morning and eat, but it does help with that. If you're eating protein at night, muscle recovery, it might actually help stabilize blood sugar levels for some, and it may help support relaxation. Again, that milk and that cookie, like, just makes you feel good, right? But what does that look like? What if you were to eat at night before bed? What do you do? So there are some choices. Like, one of the things, the tryptophan. You've heard of tryptophan, for, like the turkey. What that releases when you eat too much, makes you sleepy. Almonds, walnuts, pumpkin seeds, tofu for the vegans, bananas, magnesium-rich foods, dark chocolate, spinach, avocado, cashews, even sunflower seeds. Lean proteins like Greek yogurt. I've done that before bed. Yogurt, a little bit of almond butter, fresh cheese, even an egg, like a hard-boiled egg. Average carbs, like I've been doing this, a high fiber toast with some almond butter, and it really does seem to work. But again, this message about eating before bed, the 3 hours before bed, you've got to be careful about that, right? Again, it's total calories, and don't waste those calories. You're doing great, and all of a sudden it's 9 o'clock at night, and that's when you eat ice cream, things like that. You just eat too much. So err on the side of not, but if you do, there you go. And then a conversation like this, you got to talk about alcohol and you got to talk about caffeine. But first, caffeine. And I'm just looking at this right here. It stays in your system 12 hours after drinking it. I drink a lot of caffeine and I try to stop at 2, but I'm not going to bed at 2 in the morning. I try to average 8 hours maybe, but yeah, watch out for your caffeine. But alcohol it's calories. People don't think about that. Eating before bed, 3 hours, you probably shouldn't drink alcohol 3 hours before bed because, yes, it's sedative. It helps calm you, helps you maybe go to sleep, but it disrupts your sleep later in the night. I can't tell you how many times I woke up at 3 in the morning from drinking. Like I just didn't work. So trying to avoid alcohol before bedtime. I've got a friend who may or may not be watching this video. He's got a drug cocktail of choice, which is alcohol and Benadryl. I'll just stop there. It's another conversation. But yeah, alcohol, it's calories. A glass of wine, 150 calories. It adds up. So as we wrap up, if you want to lose weight, watch what you eat. Try to cut out food 3 hours before bed. And if you are going to eat something, just keep it small. Just keep it small. So works for me, has worked for me. And as I said earlier, I think I'm going to go back to 2 hours before bed. I honestly, I weighed myself the other day at 162. I want to see 159. I just do. 5'11", 159 at 56. I do. So that's what I'm going to do. So until next time, like and subscribe, and we'll do some shorts here and see what comes out of this. And yeah, I just want to say thank you and God bless. Take care, everybody.